Wherever you are, maybe you're at home and you're watching us as we're standing here holding the space for you guys, singing these old songs. They taught us, they said, sing those. Tell them what they mean. And so I'm here to tell you guys the words that we're speaking here, and it's happening. The words that I'm singing about is what's going on. Honor those things that are around you. Honor those people that are with you. Take those lessons from here. Whatever personal journey that got you here, especially for those of you who have made it far, far places, you know, to help stand up with me. This is my sister. She's at Dakota too. She's standing here with me, and our next generations are here, standing up. So this is a fight that my family has fought before. With these same thing, my grandfathers probably sat here and did this. I don't even know. Where do I begin to understand how I am here today? I pray though. I go to my elders and I say, help me. They sit me down. I'll sit down first. And they sing a song. And they dance, and I feel that. And they say, that's how you be right there. And all my life I strive for that. And I'm here today. This is like food to me. For me and my people, the people that pray for me. I pray for the people that pray for me. And so here, we're going to start off our ceremony. We're going to ask Joe here to open us up. Hope.
Kanyanya Hippie, Machapielo, Joe Morales, Nape Washte. Good evening, relatives. My English name is Joe Morales. My Indian name is Nape Washte. It means good hands. I just want to talk to you about the sacred hoop, the Chanku Wakam, that sacred hoop of life. It's round. We all stand on that sacred hoop, and we can see each other. And everyone and everything has a place on that hoop. And Black Elk, in his vision, said that that sacred hoop was broken. But we're here. Every time we do something good, it helps to mend that sacred hoop. That's what we're doing here today. When we were on the walk, we just walked 200, several of us just walked 256 miles to be here. When we were on that walk, I told people that when you introduce yourself, to say your name, where you come from, your family, and why you're here. And we thought about that a lot, about why you're here. This is why you're here. To hold this space in a good way, in a sacred way, in a prayerful way. To have ceremony is not unlawful. To stand on treaty rights is not unlawful. No one here is breaking the law. No one here is breaking the law. You are just living. You are standing for what is right. And that's guaranteed by treaties that we made with this government. We are all upholding our treaties in a peaceful, prayerful way. And what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to uphold their end of the treaties? That's what we're here to find out. That's why you've come here. So remember that. When you go home, when you get arrested, when you don't get arrested, just remember that we're doing good. And no matter what they say, we are not breaking the law. We are upholding treaties. Hello, Mitakiapi.
We're here live at the South Lawn of the Minnesota State Capitol. here in St. Paul. Right now, ceremony has started. Occupation of this area has started across the street since earlier today on the Capitol lawn. We have some speakers.
Could we get the Navy walkers? We want
The water walkers came here. 256 miles they walked from northern Minnesota. Sounds like they're going to try to do the Nibi song, a water song.
I know all the women on the walk know that song. Come out.
That water, that sacred water that each and every single one of us are connected by. Where it is, you know, your people came here from, whether it's from here or from across the sea. Reach back into your blood memory. Envision it. I want you to think about all the plant life that is there, all who swim, all who fly. Take a moment to think about those four-legged and how they've sustained your people for generations. Be grateful for all that life, all that presence. Think about what it smells like, the sounds that you hear. Now take a moment to think about the water that's there, whether it's lakes or rivers or a great ocean. I want you to imagine that water. Now I want you to recognize that that water reaches the water here, all the way here, from thousands of underground tunnels, from going up into the air and returning to the earth. We are connected by that water, by the bonds that we're building in circles like this. I want you to think about the fact that as a human being, you are 70% water. As women, you carry that water within you. You are a water carrier. Every single person here is water. Protect her. When you rise up, I want you to do so as the warrior you are. We're all water protectors now. Thank you for taking a moment to reconnect. Miigwech.
Fought really hard, and that fight does not go wasted. Everything everybody did up here, either here at the state capitol, if you went and tried to talk to your legislators, or if you were up on the front lines fighting with us, mattered. It showed us as Indigenous people that our allies and comrades are out there, that we have co-conspirators that are willing to go to any lengths to make sure our water is protected, that our land is protected, and that we don't that we don't just die away in genocide without that aid, without that love and care and compassion that everybody gave to us this summer. To the walkers, that was a long walk. And I was with you in spirit. I couldn't do it because I'm still healing injury, but I thought about you the whole way, and every step, every footprint was a prayer to the Creator that we will rise, we will be strong, and we will stay in this fight no matter the cost, because we can't afford to lose. So take this activism home with you. Take the thoughts that you had this summer, or just today, if somebody inspired you when they spoke, if somebody stirred something up inside of you that you hadn't thought about before, if somebody made you think I can be doing more, I can be showing up different or harder, take that seriously. Listen to that instinct, listen to that ancestor that's telling you, we need you to stay in the fight, because this is not over. Line 3 might be almost done, but we've got a Line 5 fight, we've got sovereignty fights, we've got indigeneity to fight for. And that won't be one for a long time. Colonization and colonial genocide have been around for well over 600 years. 600 years is a long time to be in a system, to have to fight back. So, if you're BIPOC, take the safety that you found and you felt this summer with you. Because I know we had some incredible allies that showed up in major ways for our BIPOC. And if you're not BIPOC, take those lessons that you learned that were really, really hard to sit with. Take those back with you to wherever you come from. Give them to your community. Teach them. Tell them there is a way to decolonization. There is a way that we can all thrive together. Because when Indigenous are free, everyone is free. We will share everything we have with you if only given the chance that we can live with you. And at this rate, and at what the government continues to do to us, we cannot live and we cannot thrive. So again, I thank you for showing up today. I thank you for showing up in this fight. But don't stop. Like somebody said earlier, take this home with you. Don't stop the fight just because this particular line is almost done. Mountain Valley Pipeline, the Braided Warriors up Ferry Creek, Thacker Pass, and there's going to be more resource extraction. It may not look like oil, but it's going to look like something else. It will be cloaked in imperialism and colonialism. So watch out for all those little countries around the world that are being colonized, that somebody's coming in and trying to say, I want what you have, I'm going to take it, regardless of the harm that it will bring your people. Because those fights will continue to happen until we understand that it's not materials and it's not wealth that makes us rich. It's love, compassion, strength, integrity, honesty, and being in community with another and with one another and showing up for each other, especially when it's hard. Miigwech, I love you all very much. Nancy, you want to speak?
Wow. Thank you guys for coming over. I honestly didn't expect this many people, so this is beautiful. And thank you. Again, we're all treaty people, and this is more than a pipeline. Because if we don't defend those treaties, there'll be more pipelines, more mines, more extractive industry. And they're going to continue to do this to us if we don't defend those treaties. So we're just going to keep showing up and holding space like this. So I appreciate this from the bottom of my heart, and I just can't even say how much. The space that we're going to hold tonight is a space that we define, and as long as we stay in peace and do our part, we control the narrative. And that is important in this movement. So the space that we hold here tonight is, we ask you, if you want to be here all night. We want to remind the Wells administration that we're still here. The whole world that we're still here. And we're still looking for our babies. So, when you hold space here tonight, make sure it's not loud. This is not a music fest. Sorry, guys. Ceremony. So that, ask you just to remember that and always remain in ceremony. If you feel some kind of way, whatever that might be, you can gently excuse yourself. You do it in a good way. We understand sometimes things change, or maybe you can't be in it for the long haul, but we're going to be here until we're heard. So what we're going to do is collectively hang out here in a good way tonight. And there's going to be moving parts, and I'll probably never get a break. But for now, you just make yourself comfortable and just listen with those two ears for a while, because you'll have some instruction. So, Hoka and our men are going to help hold some space here with drum and song for our walkers. Couple honorarium songs, correct? And I'm gonna hand over the microphone to Tasha, but I'm here and things are gonna be beautiful. So Chimigwech. Hello. Hello. Okay, I was trapped in that.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. So this fight and this work that we do is constantly re-traumatizing us. And, and one of the ways we deal with that in our culture is to hold talking circles. So if you're holding something that's heavy and you want to share that, collectively and work through it together, we'll be doing talking circle over this way. So please feel free to come over. Talking circle it's very healing, it's very cathartic, and it is ceremony. So if you're holding something and you need a time for self-care, you need some community support, please come find us, Camp McGeezy over here. We're going to facilitate a talking circle, and we just want you all to know how loved and supported you are, and the fight isn't over yet. We're going to continue holding space here. We're not doing anything illegal. We are practicing our inherent rights as treaty people, and as Indigenous people, we have the right to be in prayer absolutely anywhere. They can't take that from us, so feel free to come find one of us. We'll be right over here. Okay. Yeah, I love you all. Please take time for self-care, and if you want to join us, please feel free. Whatever is said in Talking Circle stays in Talking Circle. You can do so completely anonymously, but just know that you're loved and you're supported in this fight. Thank you.
So again, we're here live on the Capitol, south lawn of the Capitol.
Gonna do those.
Looks like we're gonna continue to let the speaker
For
speak.
our walkers. Again, that was 256 miles, and there was I think like 14 of them that walked every single step. So this song is for them.
What she was just referring to is water walkers went from northern Minnesota 256 miles walking down into the state capitol to push the government to stop Line 3 pipeline. And so those 256 miles were done, finished, and as she just said, 14 walkers were participating in every mile of the 256. They had multiple stops. They started earlier this month, I believe. And so over here is the occupation has moved from the south of the Capitol lawn, or excuse me, from the Capitol lawn to the south lawn. I think because of camping regulation rules or regulations around the lawn of the Capitol itself, they chose to not fight with any authorities, as the authorities are very deep out here tonight. If you haven't seen, check out our stream earlier today. Also check out our Twitter feed. We have some images of some of the law enforcement presence out here. It's very deep. Numerous agencies are here policing the area, and so a lot of people here have called it suppression of their rights, and so they're also just being very peaceful. The crowd, the organizers, has brought people to the South Lawn to hold ceremony. We just heard Camp McGeezy will be holding the healing circle, sharing circle off to the side, and there will be some other participatory events going on. Right now people are getting prepped to do, or some of the drummers are getting prepped to do the NIBI song, which will be an honorarium song for the water walkers. You see, I think it's Nancy with the red dress with the lights on it. That's representing the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives and girls and women. And that is a huge thing when we're talking about these pipeline construction. They build man camps where all the workers reside in during the construction period, and those man camps, when the people are not working, have been an influx of drug trafficking and sex trafficking in the areas where they are located. And so there's been numerous Enbridge officers or people working for Enbridge that have been caught up in sex trafficking rings, sex trafficking stings, set up by other authorities. They've caught them in those stings, and so it just shows some of the side effects of these pipelines is that it's impacting Indigenous people much more so than the people who are benefiting from the oil.
This time, relatives, we're going to ask the water walkers to share their experience here as we sing an honor song for them. Give them some space here and some time to share their story. Open up our ceremony here.
So it sounds like we'll hear some stories from some of the water walkers that took the path from the Mississippi headwaters down to St. Paul Capitol.
We're just gonna ask our sister here if she'll share her story, their experience as they walked. And I feel it's something that most of us don't know. So I think their walk was very powerful, very beautiful, and I think hearing it from our walker firsthand is what's going to center why we're here right now. So I'll pass it over to Alexis.
Hello, my name's Alexis. This is my cat Phoenix. She also did the whole walk with us, so she was like our honorary cat. So yeah, so I'm from New York, land of the Mohawk. My roots reside in Sicilian, Italian, and Irish. Yeah, I found out about this walk. My partner and I were talking about treaties and talking about my own ignorance on it and my own unknowing of what our treaties are and what it means to be a treaty person. And as we were like asking questions and seeking this, it was the night before the Treaty People Walk. And we went ahead and looked into it and decided, okay, this is where we're going. Let's, we have a van we could support. I have legs, I could walk. And we showed up at Camp Firelight at 3 a.m. in the morning of the Treaty Person Walk, getting ready to walk 256 miles. And I can't explain to you how powerful it was to be with our core group of people. There was 12 to 14 of us that were there from the very beginning, and we got to grow and learn and just pray together in our own way, in a good way, and understanding that every step of our walk was its own individual prayer. It was beautiful, and also understanding that the water has memory, so she remembers every single one of our prayers, every single one of our thoughts, every single one of our steps. She'll remember that. The water that carried with us from the headwaters will be, we passed it around, when was yesterday? We all got to put our prayers into that jar of water. And she's going to hold on to that, and she's going to carry that with her as we carry it in ourselves. It's the thing that connects all of us. It's what connects us to the clouds, to the ground, to the earth, to one another. And she definitely does not discriminate. So it was just, I feel honored, I feel humbled, and I honestly, I want to thank Sherry, the heart of the walk, the one Anishinaabe person to stay with the walk from the beginning to the end, to hold the fire from Camp Firelight with us, to never step out of prayer in any moment. She was always in prayer. She's still in prayer. And there's so much to learn from her. And I didn't learn, by asking questions or but just by sitting back and listening and watching and just seeing one of the most humble beings that I've ever met in my entire life hold us there. She held us. I know she said earlier she couldn't have done it without us, but we couldn't have done it without her. So I really just want to say thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
They were just talking about the water walk from northern Minnesota to the capital here, St. Paul.
I ask you guys to stand up, please.
Still a few hundred people in a circle right now surrounding this drum circle that you see.
Hoka is requesting that we give our walkers a handshake. So when y'all come up, if there's any walkers out there still, please come up and stand with the rest of the walkers. And I think we'll just start over here with the lady in the orange and the light blue bandana. If she could start first. And somehow you guys just follow her and just single filely come in. And so then when you come in, just keep circling back in and circle out as you come in, right? And you guys will end up all around the drum. Right? So remember, single file handshake, and then kind of wind your way up here, and then just keep making circles on your way out, and we'll move some of these chairs really quick. So I'll do that, and I'll catch up with you guys. So, all right, so our walkers are over here, and someone over here, you, lady in the orange, she's, yeah, I'm, you? Can you raise your hand? Yeah, if you... No, I'm asking you to start the handshake. So if you take the lead, then people behind, or wait, now we got people up closer maybe. Yeah, we got a guy here that just volunteered himself. Okay, okay, so where do they do that at?
Oh no, wait, like this.
Oh, you can also just lift your hands up in the air as a sign of respect to the walkers, and I think maybe that would be a good way to do it.
You see the thank yous to the water protectors or to the water walkers right now that's happening. It's going to be a few hundred people that are going to greet them with a thank you. And again, these are the Nibby walkers, what they call them, and they've actually walked 256 miles. There's more walkers getting lined up. We have to move. So, coming into the Capitol earlier today, there was a few hundred that joined the water walkers at different spots in the Twin Cities area. Here you see a lot of the people in orange on the right side that are getting greeted by people that are putting their hands up and thank you. Again, these are the water walkers. Again, this is happening here in St. Paul when northern Minnesota, Enbridge is constructing the Line 3 pipeline. They're getting very close to completion. It's been very large opposition to it. All summer there's been actions, direct action after direct action in different work sites and different pumping stations up north, trying to stop construction, different man camps at different, just a bunch of different Enbridge installations, blocking fences, locking themselves to construction equipment. There's been nearly 1,000 arrests, many brutalizations, especially lately, from the police to the water protectors. They've stepped up their aggressive behaviors. They actually were shooting rubber bullets in this last month. That hadn't been happening before. They have always been preparing for it. We have some extensive stories on some of their preparations. Northern Lights Task Force is a task force that was created with a bunch of the sheriff's departments and the Department of Public Safety, as well as state troopers and other agencies. And that was created sort of under the auspices of following Morton County's playbook. Morton County was the sheriff's, Morton County Sheriff's playbook. Morton County Sheriffs were the authority in North Dakota when the battle against DAPL was happening near Standing Rock. So people are now, the people who are finished with the thank you to the water walkers, they're all gathering around the drum circle. They're going to make one huge circle. As the song is going on, people are greeting the water walkers still. This whole time the song has been going on, they're still greeting the water walkers. That's how many people are here.
Hey,
That was the Nibby song. The song for water. It was dedicated to all the water walkers.
They're just gonna do the handshake.
Love round dances. Are you guys excited?
Actually, the people are still greeting all of the water walkers. It's still happening. The drummers say they're not done yet.
I'm so sorry. Oh, they're not done yet. Where you going? I'm so excited to round dance.
So again, people were, this was a song honoring the water walkers that walked 256 miles from the Mississippi headwaters down to St. Paul, calling for the government to stop construction on Line 3, tar sands, oil pipeline. I think they're going to continue drumming until all of the people have thanked all of the water walkers. And that was a procession that was going in a circle. That circle seemed to have stopped from conversations. It seemed to be moving a little bit more. Somebody is definitely thanking a lot of the water walkers and thanking them, having a conversation with each one. And so it was, again, this was dedicated to the water walkers who walked 256 miles. They came to the St. Paul Capitol today, and now there's occupation of the Capitol grounds. People have moved to the South Lawn. Crowd is still greeting the water walkers that walk 256 miles, so the drumming circle will continue, I think. Screen will go black for just a moment. So right now, as you see and hear, folks are holding the space in the center of the South Lawn, and they are actually doing the Nibby song. For all these orange shirts are water walkers. Hopefully you can see them. Our light just went out, but a lot of these are the water walkers, and these are the ones that are getting greeted. And so this is actually what's taking a little bit longer. There's still people in a long circle and procession ready to greet the water walkers and to thank them. And these thank yous has turned into conversations, and they're now taking up a little bit more time, I think, than the drummers had planned. And so this is going to be a continual thing out here all night. We are going to bring the stream down very shortly. Give me a moment and I'll try to go fish out an interview, and we'll stay right around here, and I'll be right back on the mic soon. So again, we're here on the south lawn of the Capitol. Minnesota State Capitol is right there. There's about 16 or so teepees, maybe more, that are set up on the Capitol grounds itself. Right now, people are holding this space on the south lawn to not prompt any kind of police interactions, and to also save the teepees. They're sacred items, and so people are saying here that they do not want any kind of destruction upon the teepees, and possibly the police could be the destructors of the teepees if people are occupying that specific area. There's a lot of police presence all around here. They've blocked off many roads. There's tons of state troopers. There's Washington County, Anoka County. Washington County has their mobile field force, so they have their SWAT unit out here. There's just quite a few different agencies that are cooperating together out here, as well as the DNR, which is the Department of Natural Resources, and their conservation officers. Along with the state troopers sort of heading it. The state troopers sort of surround, this is their grounds, the Capitol grounds is theirs. This is Minnesota state property, and there's also Capitol security. But the state troopers, along with other conservation officers, they've been part of this Northern Lights Task Force, and they're basically the police against the water protectors that are looking to stop the construction of Line 3. Northern Lights Task Force, check out our website for more on that. We've done quite a few extensive stories on basically how the cooperation is happening between these different agencies, and how they were also training at Camp Ripley and a few other places. When we were up north covering a action in February this last year, early 2021, we actually heard from Dan Guida, who's one of the main sheriffs, I think, at Aiken County, and he's one of the operating counties. There are 14 counties that are operating within the Northern Lights Task Force, and he was talking about specifically how they get trained. He actually told us that some of the training for bipods, extracting people from tripods and bipods, was done by the Homeland Security. And I asked him if they went down to where they went to the Homeland Security's place to get trained. He said, no, we actually had them come up here. So we know that the Department of Homeland Security, along with a litany of these other agencies, have been cooperating together, developing plans together, especially utilizing also the Morton County Sheriff's playbook as to how to deal with water protectors, how to deal with resistance to these fossil fuel extraction projects. And essentially, what we've also seen is here in Minnesota, the Enbridge Corporation, which is a Canadian corporation, and they're bringing Canadian tar sands oil through Northern America, and they're actually going to be shipping it out at the Gulf of Mexico. Enbridge is actually buying the police. So essentially they're paying out of a fund the police's money from Enbridge. So who's operating that fund is the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, headed by John Harrington, who also was a fixture, as you saw this last year, in Operation Safety Net and all these other sort of operations that the police have been pushing against the people here in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota for over a year. Since the George Floyd uprising, they've utilized some of the tactics that they used in the streets. Were also tactics that they learned and practiced in their training for Northern Lights Task Force. Then the conservation officers were set out into the streets of Minneapolis and surrounding areas during this last summer, during the uprising and whatnot, as well as also during Dante Wright time in April of 2021. And so we saw conservation officers out in the streets a lot. And so that's essentially the Department of Natural Resources has also used their planes last year to fly in tear gas and other crowd control munitions from Wyoming, I think from Safariland, the corporation, or Defense Technologies, I can't really specifically ask, but I think it was Safariland. We have a report on that on our website as well. But they were using their plane to bring the crowd control munitions. So DNR is not really all about natural resources, as you see also that they are policing up in the Capitol area. Now we're going to speak to Tasha in a minute, hopefully, and Tasha is from Camp McGeezy, and Camp McGeezy is one of the resistance camps up north. I think there's at least 5. There might be 7 or 8. I might be off a little bit, but those resistance camps up north have struggled all this last year, continuing to put together different direct actions and stopping the pipeline in so many capacities. Almost every day that there's action, almost every day, at least one every week, there seems to be an action where people are putting their lives on the line, essentially, locking themselves down to construction equipment and even trucks that are stopped for a brief moment. And so we've seen consistent repression against the water protectors. We've seen trumped up charges against the water protectors. We've seen them also get charged with felony theft now for stopping construction for a few hours, and that theft is around Enbridge basically saying that they're stealing from them because they're not allowing the construction to go on. And so people are getting large felonies for disorderly conducts. They're getting thrown in jail. For unlawful assembly, they're getting thrown in jail. So check out our website, unicornride.ninja, for more information on that. Check out our Twitter feed, our Facebook feed, and some of our other social media. As we wait for the interview in a moment, we will tell you also the water walkers came in from up north, about 256 miles away is what we keep hearing. I think 14 made the full trip from up north to St. Paul here in Minnesota, and they did so to bring awareness to the plight that a lot of people are saying that will and the dangers that will happen during and after the Line 3 pipeline gets constructed, the dangers that it'll do to the earth, the dangers that the man camps are doing to the people in the surrounding communities, and just the impacts that it'll have for the future generations. And so we also know sort of oil is on its sort of last leg. A lot of people have been talking about the fossil fuel extraction corporations are sort of on their last leg. We heard it last week when we were covering the Chase Bank. There was an action at the governor's mansion and went to the Chase Bank and asked or urged the Chase Bank to defund from Line 3. Chase Bank is one of the biggest profiteers and financiers of fossil fuel extraction projects, and it seems to be that might be on its way out, a lot of people think, and for the future, when you come in to look at people really getting serious about climate change, possibly. Doesn't seem like there's political will at this moment, but possibly people are hoping for the future to have some political will to change some of what we see with this climate chaos and catastrophe happening. This year also, we will say, up north is very, very bad. A lot of fires throughout the globe, obviously, but also up north Minnesota. They've shut down the boundary waters. First time that I've known of that happening. And so that is also impacting people's thoughts. People are saying that this pipeline is a climate catastrophe, that using tar sands bitumen is a climate catastrophe waiting, that pipelines don't break, they might not break, they will always at one point burst, and the tar sands also within the pipe that they're shipping it through, which they've made bigger pipes to ship more, it actually corrodes the inside of the pipe because it's so dirty and it's so corrosive. So it actually corrodes the pipeline itself. Also, the pipes have been outside for many years at this point. As we heard, also people have been fighting against Sandpiper, which is a proposed pipeline up north of Minnesota in 2014, I believe, maybe even before that, 2012, 2013, and then they talked about Line 3 after that, and when Minnesota started to get prepared, when Enbridge started to get prepared for construction on Line 3, they utilized big pipe yards in northern Minnesota and Bagley and other places. And these big pipe yards, they had just pipes laid up, stacks, and they stayed out there for years. And so people were looking at the integrity of the pipes after that, saying that the integrity was actually lost from the pipes being outside in the weather. Minnesota gets very cold in the winter, and we had some very cold winters lately. And so, therefore, people are looking at that like, well, we don't even really trust that the pipes right now are non-corrosive. And so, there's just so much to it. There's a lot more that I'm not getting into as well. But as we do know, again, to bring you back to speed real quick, people are here gathered at the South Lawn here in St. Paul, Minnesota. That is the Capitol you see in the background. There is about 16 teepees that have been set up by indigenous folks here. They are sacred teepees. They are sacred. This is a sacred ceremony that's happening over here as well. They are allowing people to video, so we have been videoing. But a lot of the things you see right now are people sort of lined up. A lot of the orange shirts are some of the water walkers, and a large crowd of 500 or so originally walked over to the South Lawn about half hour to an hour ago and started basically a circle. That circle has been greeting the water walkers as the drummers have been singing the Nibby song and some other drumming and ceremonial songs. And so we are going to do an interview and then take the stream down. Thank you all for bearing with us. If you want to know more information, again, check out our website, unicornriot.ninja. On the front page, we have a Line 3 resistance coverage image. And if you click into that, that'll bring you to a lot of our Line 3 coverage and a lot of the video. So again, there was senators up here. I'm not sure exactly how many, but there was at least 7 to maybe 10, or senators and state representatives, politicians, I should say, elected representatives. They were up here speaking against the construction of Line 3. Ilhan Omar's representative came and spoke for her and said that she's drafting a letter to the president to urge him to stop construction of Line 3. Again, it is very close to being done. It is the largest fossil fuel extraction project here in North American history, from my understanding. If you look at Enbridge's website, they have a lot of information about it. I think it's a $7 billion project or something like that. It is already constructed in Canada. It is already constructed in North Dakota and Wisconsin. Minnesota was the only state that had been not approved for many years until this last November. The PUC, Public Utilities Commission, gave the approval. I think it's a PUC, and from there that was the last approval. There was so many other different agencies and organizations of institutions here in Minnesota that had to give approvals to different permits, different permit here, different permit there, environmental impact statements and whatnot. People saying here that they haven't done that all correctly, that there's still loopholes that they're utilizing, and that they shouldn't have even started the construction. There is some lawsuits that are still pending in the courts, going against the state and also going against Enbridge itself. And so as we wait, we will be doing an interview here, hopefully in a minute, but I also will just prompt you to check out other people's coverage on Line 3. There's a lot of people who've been on the front lines, and you can find that information. You can just look up hashtag Stop Line 3 if you want to know more information on Twitter, things like that, where you can, if you start to follow those people on the front lines, you really get an understanding as to what they're doing and how they're doing it and why they're doing it. A lot of people have been talking about the future generations. A lot of people have been talking about having clean water for the people, for their children to drink. And so there's just a litany of issues, as we were saying, that go along with the reality of this fossil fuel extraction project here in Minnesota, and Enbridge also being a Canadian corporation, moving their tar sands through North America, through the United States, and then it's actually getting exported out, a lot of it. So the other side of the situation was, as we talked about a little bit earlier with the man camps, the state and the Enbridge was pushing that the Line 3 construction would bring jobs to Minnesotans, and that wasn't all the way the truth. There was a lot of these places up north, when you go to them and you see the construction equipment, and you see where people are driving in to construct, they have Texas license plates, Pennsylvania license plates, Wyoming license plates. They are from all over America. They are not all Minnesotans. I'm not sure exactly how many Minnesotans there are, but there hasn't been that many that we've been able to see. So also when you look at that, you look a little deeper, and where do the workers live? They live in man camps, and those man camps are separated from the communities a little bit, but the people who are working there, the workers, have been consistently caught up in sex trafficking stings and different drug trafficking stings. And so specifically here with Line 3, there was at least 2 workers and possibly 3 to 4 that have been caught by authorities taking part in sex trafficking. Now, we know that a lot of indigenous women and relatives in general, girls, men even, have been disappeared a lot lately. There's the whole MMIW movement, MMIWR. In Minnesota, they've created a task force to sort of combat that, but also research and try to figure out where the state could possibly impact some of the negative effects. That's what they're saying. I think Peggy Flanagan, who's the lieutenant governor, who is indigenous herself, took a part, or had a part, in making that a reality here in Minnesota with the task force. But that is just another reality, as we were talking about it, as one of the things that has employees of the pipeline actually going, causing damage to the communities while they're constructing the pipeline. So again, there's just so much more to also go through. We have police over here. There's state troopers all on the side of the street. There's been a large police presence out here.
Relatives.
And they haven't done, they haven't made any moves on the people. And here's a speaker.
We're going to make ourselves comfortable. So in the meantime, make yourself comfortable. And remember that we're here in a good way. And we also want to invite some of our non-native people that are holding space with us in ceremony, that you pray the way you need to pray. We want to respect that. So if that means going off in your own little quiet space for a while and pray, you do that. So we're just going to take a short little break, so just take time to wind down and figure out how you're going to make yourself comfortable. And we are discussing some logistics here, and we're going to have a small meeting, and then we will get back to you. So find a way to make yourself comfortable. We don't have a whole lot of chairs. I just want to tell you one thing. We held this space at the Enbridge easement for 8 days, and I'm telling you something, that first night we showed up, we were sleeping on these this easement that was made out of like railroad ties, and it was not comfortable at all. And we did that, all of us, every single one of us. The first night there was about I don't know, there was close to 150 people out there that night, and every single person slept on railroad type structure, and we survived. And I know this grass is a lot more comfortable than railroad ties. So just give us a quick minute to have a short meeting, and we will get back to you.
All right. So let's could we come over by the light a little bit? Are you all okay if we stand in front of you by this light? I'm blocking your way now. I'm blocking you. Okay, sorry, thank you. All right, sweet. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're probably mega tired. I don't know what your life has been like for these last few days. So talk about Karen McGeezy, talk about the fight to stop Line 3, talk about maybe the damages that it will cause, or really whatever you want to talk about right now. Right now, I do know, obviously I've prompted the viewers know where we're at, what we're doing, or what you all are doing here. So yeah, wherever you want to start, or I can ask you a question.
Okay, so we're here today at the Minnesota State Capitol. We're calling upon Governor Tim Walz to, use his administrative powers to pull the permits for Line 3. We're demanding a full IES. We're also demanding that the other tribal nations have say over their own lands. The Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior Chippewa does not speak for all of the tribes. There is a cultural monitor for Red Lake. Her name is Sasha Bolio. She's been, denied her ability to perform, her job, which is to ensure that this pipeline is being built safely through their lands. And, that's just unacceptable. As Indigenous people, we maintain the inherent right to protect our land, women, and water by any means necessary. I'm really happy to be here in Minneapolis. As many people know, we've been showing up for Minneapolis over the summer at all of the different protests that have been happening. We're all street medics. We're happy to see, that love giving back to us today when multiple people from the Black Lives Matter protests that we had been attending, came here today in solidarity. It's just, this fight isn't about just Indigenous people. It's about, this is the fight for humanity. We're fighting for our fresh water source. We're fighting for the Mississippi, and we need to be willing to do whatever it takes to protect her and all of the water that connects us. So I'm really happy to see that the BIPOC solidarity that was built over the summer during the George Floyd uprising continues, because I truly believe that, as BIPOC people, when we stand up, people like them no longer have a neck to kneel on, and they lose their footing. So we're coming for absolutely everything that we as Indigenous people, our grandmothers, were told they can't have, and we hope to bring everyone with us into a brighter, safer, more viable future.
So what made you be on the front line so hard? Camp McGeezy, being out here, I know you have children, and you're just out here. What's fueling you?
My eldest daughter, every day, you know, she challenges me to lead, she challenges me to stop line 3, and she challenges me in what protect the sacred means. And, you know, that includes standing up for black bodies during the Black Lives Matter protests. And, you know, my daughter she's my strength. She keeps me going.
Can you talk about maybe the biggest struggle right now up north?
You know, the biggest struggle up north is, you know, the brutalization that's happening to water protectors on the front line. You know, our relatives over there with GNU Collective have been brutalized, as well as those of us at Camp Migizi. And, you know, the way that they treat Indigenous people is terrifying. You know, the violence that is inflicted upon people who are utilizing their bodies to protect water. You know, that's all we want, is to ensure clean water for future generations. And we're met with LRADs. We're met with, you know, mace, we're met with pepper balls, we're met with less than lethals, and it's a very terrifying place to be on the front line, you know, but it's something we have to do.
Why do you feel like it has to be done?
You know, I think during Standing Rock, the world was awakened to the fact that this is the same water that we've had for generations, and if we don't do something to ensure its safety now, we're going to be without it. You know, we've seen what happened with the Flint water crisis, and we can't allow that to happen here at the headwaters. We can't allow that to happen where water flows in all 4 directions. You know, this is a water source for millions and thousands of people, and we just have to do our best to ensure the safety of it. As Anishinaabe people, you know, that's our job, to be good stewards of this land, to uphold those treaties, and to ensure that, you know, 7 generations ahead are still going to be able to live here safely.
Thank you for that. I know you've talked about this a lot in a lot of ways, consistently just showing up and also providing interviews and whatnot. And so when it comes to this action here, well, I know you sort of already said what you sort of wanted to achieve, but can you describe what this action is in like a synopsis?
So, you know, there was space held at Firelight for 8 days. People lived on the easement of the Mississippi, and then they also lived in the ditches alongside, you know, the easement right there at the Mississippi. And they realized that the fight wasn't over when that pipe crossed the Mississippi. And, you know, there was hundreds of people who walked over 200 miles all the way here to the state capitol from the headwaters of the Mississippi to get their message across that we don't want these extraction corporations here anymore. You know, we need to move forward fossil free. We need to move forward away from our fossil fuel addictions into a brighter, safer, more viable future where BIPOC people are safe from these industries that are raping our women, trying to sex traffic minors. You know, these corporations are exacerbating both drug and sex trafficking, and that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a little bit. How many Enbridge workers have been caught during sex trafficking rings?
I know that there's been 3 recent stings, and with each sting, at least 2 of the men were subcontracted for the Enbridge Corporation to build the Line 3 project.
And up north, with your experience, how many Minnesota workers do you think are working on these pipelines?
There's really not many. You know, there are some local people who are working for this corporation, but mostly what we see is thousands and thousands of out-of-state workers filing into these small communities. And, you know, that's really scary because many of them are anti-mask, many of them are anti-vax, and we live in communities that will be devastated by the coronavirus if the precautions that need to be taken to protect our communities are being completely disrespected by these people.
That's a good point. Even Enbridge, didn't they have a worker maybe die on the scene, and then they started work 4 hours later? Doesn't seem like they have that respect for even their workers.
You know, that's absolutely true and extremely terrifying. We always talk about sex trafficking when it comes to these issues, but what's not spoken about enough is the labor trafficking, you know, and they're targeting Indigenous people. They're putting them into these tarot programs. They're getting them into the construction field. So that way, when their number as a union worker is drawn, they have to respond to that call, because as labor union workers, if they don't, they stop getting those calls. So many of these people out there are being forced to subcontract for this corporation because they have, let's say, 4 to 7 children at home. And, you know, during a pandemic where everything was shut down and there were no other work options, many of these workers feel trapped. So much so that they've actually reached out to those of us on the front line to come shut down work for the day.
Wow, that's very interesting. So all the river crossings are completed?
That's what is being said. However, we still see work happening on the ground.
Okay.
You know, and anytime Enbridge work is happening, anytime Enbridge boots hits ground, there needs to be a water protector there willing to stop it. So we still need help in northern Minnesota. And if you're able and willing to put your body on the line, you know, get a hold of these direct action camps who need you now for the safety of our waters.
Yeah. How many camps are there, and then how can people get involved with Camp McGeezy specifically?
Well, there is GNU Collective, which is Camp Nemewag. There is the Welcome Water Protector Center. There is the Red Lake Treaty Camp, and there is the Monoman Protectors Camp. You know, Camp McGeezy and GNU Collective are the direct action camps. And what we do is, you know, there's a difference between a protester and a protector. We are protectors. What we do is stand up and take action so that our relatives can continue utilizing their inherent treaty rights, so that they can continue to live on and pray another day. You know, that's where the real power of this movement is. It lies within our prayers and our ceremonies. And those of us who are able-bodied, you know, we're out there to defend that. You can get a hold of us via social media, such as our Facebook page, our Twitter page. I believe there's also an Instagram, and we most recently created a TikTok. So there are many ways, you know, to get a hold of us. We do ask that you go through the vetting process with Northfield Against Line 3, and we ask that you come vaccinated. And also, you know, if you're not vaccinated, to be wearing a mask and come with at least a very recent negative COVID test.
What do you feel like we didn't touch on right now that you feel like maybe needs to be said, if there's anything?
I just want to give a shout out to all of the amazing people who have been leading this movement. This movement has been completely led by Indigenous women and Two-Spirit folks. And I think that's where the power of this all lies, is, you know, the feminine spirit that we brought for the water is, you know, life-changing. You know, we are rematriarching society, and we're telling, you know, not only corporations but our enacting government that we're not going to take it anymore. And, you know, the world is going to be led by our elderly women.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much. Anything else?
No, I love you all. Stay safe, stay hydrated.
All right, thank you much. Appreciate it. So that was Tasha from Camp McGeezy, and this is the Capitol behind us. As we've mentioned multiple times, the occupation of the South Lawn is continuing right here. People have set up teepees that are sacred up on the Capitol yard itself. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to bring the stream down. Akichita is on the camera. This is Nico. I'm from Unicorn Riot. Akichita from Unicorn Riot. Chris, thank you out in Philly for running the back end. And hey, you want to say anything real quick?
Yeah. So my name's Richie. I organize in Los Angeles with the People's City Council, but I also that's right. I don't know if you're familiar with us, People's City Council. We have a cool little group in LA, but I'm also here with Roots Action. So Roots Action is a progressive organization that focuses on national issues, and we want to bring attention to important things that are going on, like Line 3. One of our organizers was actually staying in the camps for the past few months up here, and we are actually really on the ground trying to do the work and push things forward, and we just started a media arm called Progressive Hub, and so we've been broadcasting a lot of what we're doing out here. You can follow us at roots_action, but also I'm not here to plug my own stuff. I love Unicorn Riot. You guys are always at the on the ground doing dope shit, and I'm happy I was able to run into you because we're in LA, and I don't think you come there too often, but we are able to consume your content from all over the place, and so shout out Unicorn Riot, and it's been a beautiful day, and glad we were able to be in this space and community with everyone.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the love. Thank you for shouting out Roots Action as well. And so maybe the last thing, so you came from California for this?
Yes.
How long are you planning to stay here, and are you planning to sleep here or stay here for the night?
Yeah. I plan on staying overnight, and we'll be here for a few days, and we'll see what happens. I'm honestly shocked that there was no escalation by the police tonight, considering that they came came out in full force all over the park, all over the Capitol, and there were hundreds of them. And so I was actively preparing for some sort of escalation, and you know, fortunately that hasn't happened. But I'm sure we'll see something over the next few days involving the police for sure.
So the plan right now is to possibly stay a few days.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
absolutely. I mean, I don't know how long they plan on staying out here exactly, but we're here to document what's going on, and this is an important story that really should be getting more coverage. And you know, Joe Biden, you know, has essentially just ignored this issue, right? Or you know, mainstream media hasn't really covered this at a certain angle. And you know, if Joe Biden is serious about the climate crisis, then why is he allowing these corporations to come in and build on an indigenous land and break treaties, right? And so yeah, it's unfortunate that you're out here and people are out here spreading what the fuck's actually going on. And fuck the pigs, and you know, all cops are bastards, and Google LASD gangs. Everyone, have you Googled LASD gangs yet? You've seen that, right?
Yes.
That's some crazy shit. Seriously, like, everyone Google LASD gangs. You'll see some crazy shit. I don't know if you watched the Gravel Institute video that came out.
No, but I've seen part of it. Yes.
It's worth 18 minutes of your time. I know you're hella busy, so you know, whenever you get around to it. But that shit is real in Los Angeles. We have gangs in the sheriff's department that to get initiated into, you have to kill or shoot someone to get initiated into the gang. But not only do they do that, the East LA Sheriff's Department has a deputy gang. I'm sorry for taking up time if this is okay. The East LA Sheriff's Department has a deputy gang called the Banditos. The Banditos, you know, they kill a lot of people, but one story that should be highlighted, they killed a 20-year-old named Anthony Vargas. These two deputies shot him for gang initiation. And not only do they kill for gang initiation, those same deputies and gang members harass the family of Anthony Vargas in East Los Angeles. They show up at their house, they follow them in their cars, they assault them, and so just for people to conceptualize, I don't know how many people are watching, but there are gangs in our sheriff's department, and then those gangs go and harass the families of people that they've killed. So that's what's going on in Los Angeles, and you know, the struggle is worldwide, countrywide, and you know, that's why I'm out here, and you know, this is an important story to tell. Fuck the pigs.
Thank you much. Appreciate that.
I'm from Fresno.
From Fresno. So again, thank you all for joining. This is Nico Akichita on the cam. Thanks, Chris, for running the back end. We're going to take the stream down. Thank you all for joining. UnicornRiot.ninja is our website. Check it out. This Capitol occupation will continue. Let's come over here so we can capture this, and we'll just end on viewing the Capitol occupation, or the Capitol itself, here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you all for tuning in. If we are still up, we will continue to document the area. We will be down for now, though, and continue to follow our Twitter feed if anything else happens. Thank you all for tuning in.
What's the name? Kim Katie.
Look up Pam Kincaid, homeless.
As we take the stream down, you can see a lot of tents have been put up. Sleeping bags are out. Drum circles continuing.